When it comes to my favorite era of computer gaming, there are many. Windows 98 comes to mind, but nothing compares to the Windows XP age. I wanted to refurbish and upgrade a PC that reigned supreme around that age. And then I got donated this specific PC. With a shout out to Rick for donating this PC. This is a Packard Bell iMedia S3720. Packard Bell doesn't exist anymore, since it was bought by Acer in 2007. Anyway, this desktop PC was released somewhere around 2010 and was targeted at an audience that wants some exciting media capabilities. That means it packs all kinds of multimedia card slots for your specific family photo needs, and there are some front USB and audio ports. It packs a NVIDIA GeForce 210 with 1 GB of video memory and an Intel quad-core 2. And to finish it hardcore, there's a DVD writer in here. It does have an HDMI output built in its motherboard, as well on its video card. Opening up, you are treated with this view. It's high power brick in my face. This case has some exotic choices in its interior to make it this small, because it really is a small case. More to a mini ITX compared to today's standards. There's a whopping 2 DDR2 memory banks here with a total of 4 GB. There are 2 SATA ports. One cable runs to the optical drive, while the other should run to the hard drive. Its motherboard only holds 1 PCI Express slot. And that's all there is. There's no way to upgrade this PC with extra parts like an extra audio card or a second hard drive. When powering on this desktop, you get this terrific sound. Yes, the fans are full of dust, and I reckon that CPU paste has been shredded to oblivion by now. This also might be just an option in the BIOS, to manually adjust lowering the fans. At least the thing turns on and displays an image. I didn't check that with the previous build. Everything is being recognized, so we're good to go. The first thing I want to do is of course remove all the parts so I can get to the cleaning. I removed the memory banks, as well as the graphics card. Then I removed the CPU cooler. And as expected, the thermal paste is long gone. There's even some collected dust across its top. The fan is not in its best state, but I can work with this. It just needs some cleaning to make it shiny and top-notch working again. Its memory banks look fine, no problem here. The GeForce 210 also looks like sort of fine, except for that fan that's been sucking in crap for the past 10 plus years. But that's an easy solve with some compressed air. And after that treatment, it looks like new. There's some ice layer on top of the fan, but that'll disappear in a few minutes. With the compressed air, I also clean up the rest of the case from its collected dust. I then pull out its CPU and clean up leftover bits. Now that's one dirty CPU. Time to clean it up with some alcohol and a cloth. The thermal paste even got to the edges of the CPU, a place you don't want that stuff to go. And that's one clean Intel Core 2 Quad CPU. Time to go hands on with that CPU cooler. With some alcohol and a cloth, the thermal paste came off super easy. I detached the fan to refuel the cooler. As you can see, it's not nice looking at all. Compressed air and the cloth to the rescue. The same tactic is used on the CPU fan system, making it a clean boy. I almost forgot the back case fan, as that one is dirty as well. Time to put everything back in its original place. Now the first item I need to add is a hard drive. The hard drive has its own cage, which is snug tight. Since my previous build didn't work, I am reusing the HP 120GB SSD as a main storage, as well as the 3.5-inch bay converter. And then it's time to close everything up. Here we go, it boots up. But the fans are still spinning like crazy. At least all the peripherals are being detected. Time to dive into the BIOS to adjust some settings. I first lowered those fan speeds. Then I needed to boot Windows XP from its CD. And it came back multiple times with this blue screen, which wouldn't let me continue installing Windows XP. Turns out I needed to switch the SATA mode from HCHI to native IDE. So after that, it was a breeze installing Windows XP. Ah, those green hills. Such a familiar face. Anyway, here's where the tedious part starts. See, with Windows 10, all of your components are automatically recognized. Not so back then with Windows XP. It's always a quest to hunt down specific drivers to get everything to work. I grabbed another laptop and hunted down most of the drivers at first. Sketchy websites are all out there to let you download loads of malware and other crap, so you have to be careful which sites to trust. It's just a show of placing drivers on a USB stick and switching between the desktop and laptop to get those drivers on there. Some drivers won't work, some do. Eventually I was left with just these 3 unrecognized drivers. I went on a quest for these 3, but I came up short on all of them. Then I found this really old Packard Bell website, which had multiple drivers for iMedia desktop PCs. My particular desktop wasn't listed, but seeing as most manufacturers place the same parts in all of their PC series, I decided to bet on these drivers. And it worked. I checked off each driver one by one, until I was left with this. What in the hell even is an NVIDIA Enforced Networking Controller? But who cares? This desktop isn't going to be plugged into any network, or the internet. So I was very pleased with how far I came after a few hours of hunting down drivers. It was time for what this machine was truly made for, at least in my opinion, and that's playing some mid-2000 games. But wait, now there isn't really much of a path to upgrade, but that video card could be upgraded. So I searched around for a PCI Express GPU and came up with a GeForce 710. Now this thing triples most of the power from the initial GeForce 210 card. It doubles the video memory from 1 gig to 2 gigabytes. And best of all, it's fanless thanks to its passive cooling. So I replaced the 210 with the 710. It's a shame that the card faces the wrong way though, so you have to look at its generic back. Let's put it back, connect the monitor and see what this thing can do. Now of course this card needed a newer driver. And it came back with the same stupid driver missing. Damn this NVIDIA Enforced Networking Controller. At least the card worked and was recognized. So how does it play and what's the difference now? Well, have a look for yourself. It runs all of the mid-2000 games in the highest settings smoothly. I am very pleased with how this machine turned out to be. And I will surely use it for recording games for future videos. Thank you again for watching this video. At least this build ended well. It doesn't end well all the time. Did you see the other videos where this kind of stuff happens? No? Go have a watch. And don't forget to like this video. And maybe even subscribe if you like this video. And I'll see you on a next one.